Hello everybody and welcome to your general weekly reading for the week beginning November 27th, 2017. This week I will be using the Everyday Witch Tarot card deck by Deborah Blake. So how are you doing this week? How was last week? How have you been doing so far this November? This week we go into December, which is kind of crazy how quickly time seems to be flying by. And of course, you know, December is a very busy month with the holidays and with the solstice coming in and all of that kind of stuff. The winter is going to be upon us. If it hasn't already hit you, it will be upon us at the end-ish of December. So that's always... I always really like the winter solstice because I feel like it's a new beginning. It's the return of the light. So leading up to December 21st-ish is, you know, the days are getting shorter and shorter and shorter, and then that is the shortest day. And then from there, the light is beginning to return to us. So that's always very exciting because then that means that summer will soon be coming and that, you know, the light brings new opportunities and new times for us to be active and have new beginnings and all of that stuff. The winter is very much a reflection, solitude, hermiting kind of experience for you. So if you've been kind of getting into that mode a little bit in the last few weeks, I know I definitely have. I find it really hard to actually stay awake past 5 o'clock. So if that is you as well, just take this time, make the most of it. Watch lots of movies, of course, spend time meditating, get lots of sleep, and just enjoy this time as the hermit. The energies of this week, I actually feel like, and this could have been just because, yes, I'm filming this on a Saturday, and yesterday was Friday, and I felt like yesterday we had a bit of a lift. It seems like maybe we had been clearing, a lot of stuff coming up. It was all very intense for a very long time. Probably over a month. And I feel like Friday something slight has shifted a little bit. So, you know, some lightness. So maybe finally all of that stuff that's been coming up has finally cleared. And maybe we have a very, very, very small break. So if you are feeling a bit lighter the last few days, that's awesome to hear. If you're still feeling a bit heavy, it's all good. It's not going to last forever. The break will come to you when it's supposed to. So for me personally, I feel like there was a break yesterday and it's kind of still here today. So I'm hoping that it continues for the next couple days at least. When I do tune into the video, when I do tune into the weekly energies, it's kind of feeling like a lot of head stuff actually. So we're kind of moving up the chakras, and now so we're going to be learning all about the head stuff. So they're saying just kind of releasing all of the stress, releasing all of the overanalyzing, all of the overthinking, all of the stuff that happens up here that adds lots of pressure and is kind of building on the pressure that's in your head. So all of those things that make you overanalyze, that whole tendency, if that is something that you want to work on releasing, that this would be a great time to actually have that intention to work through that as a habit. That if something happens, you tend to overanalyze it, or you think about stuff and you analyze stuff that happened years ago, it's time to release it. Just acknowledging that if that stuff does come up and you do find yourself overanalyzing and thinking about a lot of stuff, it's just because that stuff is coming up to the surface. You have been triggered. That stuff is coming up to the surface and it's time for it to be cleared. Anything else with that? Yeah, so journaling is going to be really important for everybody this week. Some of us like journaling, some of us do not. If you have another way to express yourself in a healthy way, a healthy and individual productive way, please, by all means, engage in that this week. But if you are open to journaling, this is a really great way. Instead of going through all of this stuff up here, you can actually just get out all of this stuff and do all of the thinking on paper. And that's actually a way for you to express it so that you're not just letting it to overtake you and to control you, because those things are going around and around and around because they need to be expressed, they need to be dealt with, and journaling is actually a great way for you to do that. So make sure that you're journaling this week. And if you have a small journal, definitely carry it around with you. And if you need to take a break from work or hanging out with friends or whatever and go journal about something that was triggered and something that you're still dealing with, this would be a great time to actually just do that kind of stuff, just so that you're nipping everything in the bud and that you're not allowing it to attach to you and drag you down more than it needs to. And of course, understanding that all of this stuff is coming up for a reason. It's all coming up to serve us in some way or another, as crappy as it is. If we get into the habit of recognizing that it's just coming up so that it can go, it's almost like you can receive it as a gift. So that's my advice, is work on shifting from it being a burden and seeing it as a gift, because it is. If you're triggered by your friends this week, keep that in mind as well, that they could just be helping you to bring up all of this stuff. Try to not engage in any conflicts with them, because it's just unproductive at this time. Instead, collect yourself and reflect on if they did poke you or anything like that in a sore spot. Just, take it within yourself for a while and kind of obviously journal about it, but reflect on it from an internal perspective instead of blaming them and making about the external. If that makes sense. Not really sure how to put that into words. But yeah, I guess don't go making drama where there doesn't need to be drama. I think, if you find yourself extra sensitive this week, it's all good. Again, just take time to journal. So let's get into it. So I'm going to pull 4 cards, and my cards are all mixed up. Whew. What do we need to know for the week of November 27th? For the general. Ooh, 2 for the general theme. Wow. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm pulling way too many cards for this to be... I can't read all those cards right now. Otherwise, I'll be sitting here all day. And these videos are already way too long as it is for you guys, I'm sure. Okay, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Okay. Wow, you guys. This week is going to be really interesting. I don't really know how to describe this. It's all about balance. Taking too many things on, having too much going on. As we kind of discussed at the beginning of this reading, it's all about being the hermit. So indulging yourself in that state. So hermiting inside, hermiting by yourself, away from people. If your schedule is too crazy, try to cut it back again this week. So important right now, just because everything has been so intense for so long. You don't want your nervous system to break down. And we just fill our schedule so much that it's hard for us to actually, have enough downtime to actually utilize all of these gifts that come up and use them productively. So yeah, take time for rest and try not to have a super crazy busy schedule, and keep that in mind going forward. I know it gets super crazy busy around the holidays, tons of parties and family obligations, and of course preparing for the holidays as well. So try to not go too overboard. If you're somebody who cooks Christmas dinner or whatever, delegate some time so that you're not delegate some items for the dinner at least, so that you're not spending all of your time preparing for it. And that goes for, that's just one example. So delegate some of the things so that you're not completely overtaken in the next few weeks here. Okay, so we have the general theme. So we have Strength, which is a Major Arcana card, which is great. So this is this is when we see Major Arcana come up, we know that that is a universal energy that we don't really have a whole lot of control over. This can also mean major life events. So the Strength card coming in here, of course, we see the Lion. The Lion is courage. And so, as you can see, there's a tornado kind of happening behind her. And is she starting the tornado, or is she trying to put it out? So I think this card kind of speaks for itself. You know, that expression, be the eye of the storm. So everything is calm in the middle of the storm, and just allow the storm to happen around you. That's harder than it sounds, I think, for most of us. So that's a practice in itself. So understanding that you can remove yourself from the chaos that surrounds you. You do have control over what you allow to affect you and what you don't. But this is also talking about having the strength to rise above and to be the eye of the storm this week. So that's really awesome. And then, you know, this is almost like you don't have a choice over it. So that strength will be just brought to you, which is really great. You don't have to manifest that just solely on your own. You can rely on the universe as well. And the universe has your back, of course. So just allowing that to come in and to raise you up a bit. Okay, and in addition to that, we also have the Six of Wands. Wow, we have another black cat. So if you have a black cat, chill with your black cat this week. So Six of Swords. So we have, the Six talks about, you know, community, sorry, I'm just getting information here. Okay, so the swords talk about the mental body, so our mental state. So how is your mental state looking? And this is kind of just reaffirming what I was discussing before about if you do have conflicts with anybody in particular this week, or if you get triggered, if a stress gets triggered or an old wound gets triggered by friends, of course, just collecting yourself that this week. This may be, you may be triggered by your community, whether it's your coworkers, friends, family, anything like that. But you do have the strength to do what I have suggested, and that is taking the pain inside and actually figuring out if it is theirs or if it is yours. And it's yours. So whatever they have said to trigger you is something within yourself that needs to be healed. Of course, if they're attacking you and just being a jerk, then that's their problem. So just having the strength as well to not just blow up and meet them where they are. If they are at a lower, if they are in a lower way and they are trying to attack you or bring you down, having the strength to actually rise above that and walk away. And again, if you do get triggered by your community, not sitting there and overanalyzing it, expressing it in a healthy way so that it's not going round and around and around. And those healthy ways does not include gossiping or talking shit about the people who've hurt you. It is, you know, talking to somebody just objectively and to write it down or to, you know, do art or whatever it is for you to express it and for you to make sense of it. Even if you sit and talk to yourself out loud, if you're a vocal person, if you need to talk it out to just kind of even understand it, then make time to do that as well. So the beginning of the week we have, wow, another Major Arcana card. We have the Hierophant. And so this 5, it talks about change. This is again another Major Arcana, so not a whole lot of control that you have in this. As you can see, this is kind of like a teaching kind of situation here. So if you do have an opportunity to teach others what you have, all of your knowledge and all of that, this would be a great week to engage in that. But also, this is just for the general population as well. You know, practice what you preach. Live, if you are trying to be better, do better and teach that way. Instead of being freaked out about how other people are acting, you can control what happens on your inside. You know, you have the strength this week to rise above and to be the person that you want to be. So teaching everyone around you, you know, the light path, or a better path by just sitting in that and living in that way. This is also bringing up classes. So if there's been a class or a meditation or a meditation class or a yoga class or any old class that you or have been interested in, this would be a really great week to actually engage in that and to sign up in that. And also, yeah, this is just a call to meditation as well. So finding the spiritual teacher and that guru within, and of course embodying the guru so that you can go out into the world and teach by practicing, and showing the light just by living in it and not preaching. This is also saying here, taking a step back and releasing. So, she's not sitting there and watching them meditate. She's meditating and they're following her. So again, practicing in what you believe, but also letting go and not having any sort of expectations or grips on what you hope to bring out of it. Simply just putting it out there and letting it go so that the universe can do its thing. All you can control is yourself, so there's no point in you stressing about it or over analyzing it, of course, because it'll happen the way it's supposed to, and it's not in your control. So then we have the middle of the week, we have Ace of Cups here. And so this is a minor arcana, so this is stuff that we can control. So this Cups is talking about the emotions. So when we see aces, you also see the doves up here too. So a call to peace. So I believe that the middle of the week is actually going to be quite lovely. A nice peaceful day, couple days, the beginning of a new venture, new beginnings. Aces is a number or is a suit of new beginnings. So perhaps a newfound connection with yourself, a new emotional awakening for you. Perhaps you've uncovered something that has been actually triggering or been triggered so much you actually haven't been consciously aware of what that was, or something inside of you that actually has been causing you to act some type of way. So this is a really exciting thing for you. So being open to, expressing yourself in any sort of new beginnings that do come to you this week. And so at the end of the week, we have Queen of Swords. This is the weekend. And Two of Pentacles. So the Swords again is talking about the mental body. So the Queen of Swords, she is fierce. She is a warrior. So if this is because this is a general reading, it's hard to actually crack down on whether this is you or someone else. So if this is you, be this Queen of Swords on this weekend. Sit on your throne, be strong, be mentally strong, while also having compassion. Be this queen when you're signing any contracts or making any sort of big decisions, standing in your power. And this is also bringing to light the polarity and the balance that comes within being a human. So in the rest of the reading, we're seeing black cats, and she's sitting there and she has a white cat. So this is a polarity again this weekend. So finding balance between the light and the dark. So this also could be a woman that's coming into your life to help you, somebody who is very mentally strong. And so then the Two of Pentacles. Pentacles talks about the third dimensional reality, and twos generally talk about relationships, partnerships. You've started on your new beginning and now you're kind of in a phase. So this is showing an infinity symbol at the top there. And so just seeing the abundance that is around you in any sort of way, getting out of the lack mentality. And so these two cards together, going back to that contract thing that I mentioned, if you are signing any sort of contracts or you are thinking about buying a house and you're just questioning your ability to provide for yourself or buying whatever you need to, understanding that you do have an infinite abundance. You have a gateway to be infinitely abundant, and however that will be. And if you are trying to manifest money or anything else, drawing infinity symbols all over the place on your mirror, in your car, everywhere. And if anybody out there needs to have a tough conversation in their relationship about money, the weekend is a really great time to do that. But of course, standing in your power and being mentally strong in this conversation, not allowing your emotions to take over this weekend as well. I feel like it's going to be a very mentally, very mentally and physically like third dimensional reality weekend. Like it's not going to be a whole lot of time up spent in the clouds. It's going to be very grounded and very realistic. And so however that does manifest for you, just remember that you can be the Queen of Swords and you can be infinitely abundant, and however that needs to be expressed for you. And being open to any sort of partnership. So if you were trying to start a business or somebody does enter your life and brings you this great business opportunity, or if a friend comes in and wants to do an exercise class with you, I think it's going to be a really good match. So just trusting your gut in that, and again, standing in your power. If you do decide to go into business with somebody this weekend and you're signing any sort of contracts or you're deciding anything about the business, stay in your power, stand in your power, stand up for what you want, and don't allow the emotions to take over, I guess. Anything else with that? Yeah, there's also some pressure building up in the chest. So finding ways to release that, whether it's through breathing or meditating or exercising. Yeah, this is going back again to the friends thing. So yeah, if you do find that your friends are starting, like if they're brought up an ex-boyfriend or something and they start talking about it and you do feel really guarded, or you feel triggered in some sort of way, again, just retreat and, scan your body. Where are you feeling it? Where's the pressure building? And go into that feeling. And that does take some practice, but you can definitely do it. Start to question those feelings. Like, what is this? Is this person's? Is this mine? If this were true, what does this mean? What does this say about me? And also the forgiveness piece as well. So forgiving yourself for not acting differently, or forgiving the other person for doing the same. Yeah. Keep your heart open for love and forgiveness, and take lots of time for yourself. So I hope that you have a fantastic week of abundance and happiness and strength. And if you would like private reading with me, you can email me at thejourneytospirit@gmail.com and come and visit me at katiehunt.ca. I have posted some prices for individual spiritual life coaching classes. Life coaching sessions. So those are nice little 90-minute sessions where we can kind of talk about how you can get towards your goal. And I can give you practical tools on all of that and how to help you to manifest the life that you want. And so those are good for people who just want to try out coaching, or somebody who just needs a little bit of extra quick little help for kind of making a life transition. So if you're interested in that, please let me know. And I am sending you so much love this week. I hope this week is amazing. Thank you for being here.